So here's a crazy story of a Hollywood party that I had went to. It was the weekend of my birthday. It was really early in my career. Hadn't been in LA for very long. And I wind up getting invited to Elton John's like Oscar party. He has this Oscar party and all the proceeds go to his charity that works with AIDS prevention. And so me and one of my best friends wind up being able to go. We had to wear a tux and just imagine the most beautiful place in the middle of West Hollywood and everyone who's who at this place. And I was really nervous. So the first mistake being young is I decided to pregame because I was nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to this party, me and my friend. So he Ubers over to my house and we're just like, oh man, we're nervous. Like this model's gonna be there, this person's gonna be there. We just start drinking, the Uber's gonna come, we're not gonna drive, we're gonna be responsible. And the only rule was that it was a tux affair. So we had our black tuxes, we looked great. So the first thing, by the time the Uber picks us up, we're feeling really good, feeling really confident. The Uber picks us up. We're, the person that invited us is like, oh, you're the guest of this person. They had like a sign. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling really good. So when you typically go to industry parties that red carpets are attached to, the first part of it is the press part. So, people are going to be walking down the red carpet. At that time, I had one song out, no one knew who I was. So I guarantee this video is there somewhere. There's like Access Hollywood and Extra and you see Miley Cyrus and the most famous people literally on the red carpet. And then you see me and my friend right behind him just darting into this party because we're just already, unfortunately, super lit. So we have a plan. He's like, what are we gonna say like that we do? Because I didn't want to go in there and be like, I'm a musician. I really am an extrovert and I wanted to like engage and just meet people. So I get in the party and first of all, the red carpet is not red, it's white. It's long. You get in there and the first person I see is Keke Palmer, and she's just so engaging and everybody's so nice. As soon as you get in the party, there's like a no cell phone zone. Everyone leaves their cell phone right at the door with a lot of the bodyguards. So already I'm feeling really good. Everybody's just engaging. Like, what do you do? So the first thing, just because I was young, I decided to like every new person I met, I was just gonna like make up a story and be like, yeah, I'm an agent at CAA. So talking to a few actors and I'm like, yeah, my name is Clint. I work at, and this is my friend Roger. And they're like, oh, what have you worked on? Just like making up things that they've never seen. And so I should probably preface it during the pregame, me and my friend were drinking whiskey and just probably finished a whole bottle of Makers, you know what I mean? Just kind of so we feel really comfortable. And again, I was very young. So you get in this party, the minute you come in, I'm not sure, it might have been Diplo was DJing. It was kind of like the most insane year. I think it was like around the time when Wrecking Ball came out. So like Miley Cyrus came in and there were these kind of like circus people that were like doing these like cool tricks in the air, and there was tons of food. And so initially when our plan was to go and just engage in conversation, we would just change our character as we went on to meet different people. So where it kind of started to go south is you being young, just moving to LA. I never had rich people liquor or like that, just that quality stuff. So, a guy would order or he would offer us champagne and it's like, yeah, I'll take some champagne. Then he's offered us hors d'oeuvres, and it's like, yeah, I've never had, this wrapped in bacon before. I've never had duck. We're like literally enjoying ourselves. Every model that me and my roommates have always wanted to marry, just like talking to us so casually. And then eventually I realized that I'm giving people different names and people are starting to introduce me like, oh my gosh, this is like Craig and he works at CAA. And then they're like, this is Roger, he works at Def Jam. And then so me and my friend are like, we have to actually separate because we started to like, oh, well, how do you guys know each other? And we hadn't like planned that part. But at perfect timing, there's a part of the party that turns into a dance party. So then Elton John's on the piano and they call everybody in. So Bruno Mars, Mark Ronson, Nile Rodgers, everybody's just on stage just like jamming. And so they're just jamming, like, Little Kim jumps on stage, Courtney Cox, and like At this point, I was in heaven. I was like, this is the best party I've ever been to. I'm looking over. I love Breaking Bad. There's like Jesse from Breaking Bad's right there. We're just like, this is insane. Everybody's dancing. But the whole time, I'm not watching how much. I'm just like constantly just still drinking. And I think at that point, it was just because I was like still nervous. Like, oh my gosh, like my favorite musician. All of a sudden, in like the middle of a song, I start blacking out, and then I kind of come to, and I'm talking to Little Kim. Like, I'm talking to Little Kim about something in the middle of the conversation. I'm like, that's Little Kim. And then again, I start blacking out, and now me and Little Kim are taking a picture. I promise you this is all real. And so me and Little Kim are taking this picture. I turn to my friend, and I'm just like, hey man, like, I'll be right back. And so the way this party is set up, part of the party is one of many, I'm sure, of Elton John's homes. I couldn't quite find the right bathroom, so I wound up just finding some bathroom that was not a part. You're not allowed to go in there, and I wound up locking myself in. At that point, I'm so delirious that I'm calling out the real name of my best friend. Like, I'm just like saying his name, because outside of the bathroom was a line, which I totally bypassed, and there's like bodyguards that are there. And everybody there is famous. There's no cell phone, so they probably assumed that was in like Twilight 4. I don't know. But I'm like in there. And at that point, I was like, oh no, like, how am I gonna get out of this party? So then I just say to the security guard, get my roommate's real name. At that point, I realized like, we haven't given our real names. So then I realized, I'm like, okay, I have to give my roommate's fake name. So I give him the fake name. The bodyguard literally goes to the party. He's calling out, is there a guy Roger here? Roger, your buddy Clint is looking for you. And then so my friend finally comes in, and he's like, dude, you okay? And I'm like, we have to like get out of this place, because like at that point, I literally couldn't even stand up. Embarrassingly, he wound up helping me up. We wind up getting out of the party, but at that point, because we were so just intoxicated, we had made so many friends. By the end of the party, we were like saying bye to people, and we kind of did a thing where I was like, dude, I'm just gonna like lean on your jacket, like I'm really cool, and we're gonna go out, and like at the end of the party, it's like Keke Palmer was like, oh my gosh, been so good to see. Like famous people were literally saying goodbye to us, and we were like, man, that was a great party. Remember the time I blacked out at Elton John's house? Yeah, there's the story. We got out, we didn't get arrested. They got us an Uber home. We didn't drive because we were responsible. Yeah, so I spared the details of what I did in the bathroom, but you can guess. It wasn't pretty. But we got out of the party, and I'll always remember that jam session, because it was probably one of the greatest things I've ever experienced in my life. I will say, I can't speak for those celebrities. I think they were equally as toasted, to be honest. Like, everybody was equally there. I think right now, if any of those people, if I ran into them, they wouldn't remember, because they were just as lit. They were having just as a great time, trust me, you know? So.